Boop, boop, ba-doop, ba-doop.
Welcome to Twitch Slapped. This is episode 2 of our podcast series, and today we're talking about something a little bit more, important. So, children are running towards us.
Sorry.
Hi, welcome to the worst podcast ever, but you requested it, so here we go.
Can you leave that in? That was funny.
Of you choking? Yeah, I already choked, you choked, we both choked. It was really fun. Actually, this is our second take because one of them went so horribly, so I don't know if you saw me coughing on my own spit. You may have. So, today's a more serious topic about mental health, and I thought I'd address it after some emails I got on my channel, YouTube. My channel email. My channel email, which is twitch.happens.email@gmail.com.
It'll be somewhere over here. Written
I'm not
down.
editing this.
Oh, never mind. No, it
Check
won't.
the link.
Check the link.
Also, don't tell them to check the link because when you tell them, then I'm like, now I have to put things in the link.
Well, yeah.
So go ahead and play this in the background or go ahead and watch us. Fuck off, pudding. And we're going to talk about self-harm today. So, Laura and I have a bit of, sadly, experience with this. As you know, if you're going through your teenage years, your young adult years, your childhood years, your adult years, we don't really know about your adult years. But life can be really hard and tumultuous, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Tumultuous?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like a lot of tumult. Like, everything's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay. Just use everything's kind of crazy. Don't use big words.
Imagine rolling down a hill really fast and being like, this is fine. This is fine. We want to cut to a video of us doing that at some point? Okay. There's a giant hill behind us. So, the thing is, I started self-harm for attention in 8th grade. And a lot of people don't want to admit that that's a big reason that they start self-harm. But I think it's important to address because that just shows I was in a really dark place. I was battling with depression. I wasn't on depression medication. Things just got bad. And this was before my big trauma, but I had lost my dad years before, and I was a little kid. I think I was 13 or 14 when I self-harmed for the first time. And we're not going to glorify it because although it is a coping mechanism, it is a negative coping mechanism, and I'm proud to say that I'm 6 years clean. I've had one lapse, and a lapse is where you do it one time and you don't do it again. A relapse is where you continue the negative activity and have fallen back into the pattern. So if you've had a lapse, it's okay. You know.
I've actually had a lapse.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. So. And
that's okay.
That's okay. The important thing is we seek help. We have a great support network. We have a great support network. For me, I have my family, I have Laura's family, I have a wonderful psychiatric care team. So I have a neurologist who I saw today, and I have a psychiatrist, and I have a therapist. And I have a trauma therapist, who right now is my only therapist, because I don't see my other therapist right now. So, haven't seen her in a year, but that's okay. Because I have plenty of support. So, Laura, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got started, what was going on?
So I'm adopted, and that was something I was really struggling with, like who I am and like why they give me up and everything. And cutting was kind of how I expressed how I felt.
Like an escape almost?
Yeah. I'm not good with talking about my feelings.
That's
so
okay.
That's kind of how I expressed how I was feeling about it.
Now, can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
When you started, do you think you started for attention to express how you were feeling?
Yes, definitely, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah, a lot of people are really embarrassed to say that, but unfortunately for me, it became an addiction because you get like a kind of serotonin high from it, and it makes you feel validated that your outside matches your inside. And that was something I struggled with for a long time, thinking that was okay, and I was getting attention from friends. But I mean, we're going to talk about right now what that attention did. So for me, I had very caring friends, and I ended up losing a lot of them because that's a lot to put other kids through, is to watch your friend get addicted to mutilating themselves, and that's really hard. So I lost friendships, or friendships I had changed because other kids thought that they were supposed to be my therapist, and that's exactly what we were. We were kids. We were 13, 14, and I know that if you're 13 or 14, you think you have everything going on, you know what's going on. That's simply not true.
I honestly thought that. I thought when I was like 13 or 14, I knew everything, but
yeah,
I was very wrong.
But the other thing is, definitely with me, I had to grow up very fast. When I lost my father, things were difficult at home, and I felt that I was almost getting back at my family for what I had been put through, when in reality I should have realized that I had a very supportive family that was always there for me. And I didn't want attention from my family, I wanted attention from others. And one of the things that I was also struggling with at the time was I was realizing that I was queer. I had realized that I started having crushes on girls and it felt wrong, and I figured sometimes that if I took stuff out on myself enough, I'd realize that it wasn't worth liking girls, but that's completely different. Now I embrace it. I got my rainbow sunglasses. You almost touched bird poop.
It was a bird. Oh, ew.
I still decided we'd sit here. So I became addicted to it, and it got really bad for me. This is another trigger warning, because if you've been watching this and haven't watched the previous trigger warning, please pay attention to this one. I had ended up in the emergency room multiple times for self-harm lacerations to my thighs. And I still have very big scars, and you can see them all the time when I wear shorts. I can't wear swimsuits, and it's hard working with kids because I have to wear swim trunks and everything. And I mean, it goes with the queer aesthetic, but fuck off, trees. I don't have time for your happiness.
Well, they don't look very happy. The trees.
Yeah, they're a little bit
leaves.
dead. Yeah, where is spring?
It's coming. We saw the blue flowers over there.
They're purple and they're crocuses, but very
Whatever.
good try. Laura, I know that feelings are a little hard for you to express sometimes, and so thank you so much for coming on the show, even though you're the only person who comes on the show.
I mean, I'm more than happy to. I enjoy this very much.
Yes,
It's
we
very
do have
nice
fun.
out too.
Yes. Again, Coke or Pepsi, please sponsor us. We could have Pepsi in these Coke cans.
Ew, no. I don't like Pepsi.
I like it. It's a little bit sweeter, but
I like root beer.
I love root
Anyways,
beer.
sorry.
So, scars.
Mhm.
How do you live with yours? Are you proud of them?
I mean, I honestly tattooed over mine. Anyways, yeah, no, I just tattoo over mine. I can still see them, and at first I was like, "Ooh, they're cool," and then I was like, "Ugh, I hate them," and now I'm like, it's just a part of me, and it's something I gotta live with. And if I really don't like them, there's creams to like make them not as
Mederma's a great one.
Mhm.
I found that bio oil was really helpful.
I used bio oil a lot
Yeah.
for my thighs.
We're very loud now all of a sudden. Another thing that I realized, also sorry for the audio, you've seen my setup. It's a phone.
And we're on my tripod that I make my TikToks on.
Everybody follow Laura, please.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yes, please. Okay, link in the bio.
So,
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
there will be a link in the bottom. So, one of the things I realized with my scars was I was very proud of them. I thought that it made me look like a badass, just like I thought cigarettes made me look like a badass at one point. I don't know.
I mean, I thought that too, though.
You know what's cool?
honestly.
Lung cancer. No.
No.
So, lung cancer from smoking is really something that's a reality, and I can't attest enough how much better I feel. That child just fell. I can't attest enough how much better I feel now that I'm not smoking. Also, it made my tics really bad. I was having seizures from
Oh yeah,
them.
I can vouch for that. And honestly, like, it got really bad.
Yeah, it was.
Like, we would be out in public and they would have a full-on seizure.
I'd
on
just
the
fall
floor.
on the ground.
And that was also before Damien too. So I was there. I just had to hold their head. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
So.
We're all adjusting to pronouns.
Yep.
So that's something I struggled with. And then when I had my lapse, it was just kind of during a breakdown that was going on, and I wasn't relying on my support system enough when I really should have been. And if I did, you know, it's very possible I'd be able to say I'm 6 years, almost 7 years. I don't know if I'm 6 or 7. Anyways, from April 22nd, 2014 is the first day of my sobriety. And I'm very proud of that. And I wish I could say that I've gone, however many years that is, 7 years without a single lapse or without a relapse. I didn't have a relapse, but I did have a lapse. And that's really difficult to say because I was so proud of myself, and then a couple months ago I messed up. But that's all it was a mess up. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person.
Doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean any of that.
And eating disorders too. I struggled with eating disorders, and I actually relapsed with eating disorders in college, and I got really unhealthy, and it got to a point where my roommate was like forcing me to drink, and because that's what was prescribed to me because I was just getting so underweight and so unhealthy. And I realized I was idealizing skinny body types, but not because of the media. I was doing it because I thought that it showed that I was in pain. And I'm talking about when I was in high school, and this was the same time. I switched from...
On the ground.
That's okay. I realized that I was switching negative coping skills. So I was very proud that I had stopped self-harming. You know, I went to Self-Harmers Anonymous, which was so great. I wish that I could have gotten you in that program.
I wish so, but...
Yeah. If you can find a Shaw near you, that's absolutely wonderful. Definitely try going to one. Try a meeting, see how you feel. They're a little uncomfortable the first couple meetings, but you know, you're very vulnerable at those meetings. I think that's
with almost anything you do.
Yeah.
Like first time you go to therapy, or honestly first day of school too, you're uncomfortable at first, but then you start to get used to it.
And you're not the new kid forever.
No.
Or the new adult, or the new child, or
new person.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where self-harm and gender came in.
Ooh.
When I was a really little kid, I remember asking my father if I could be a boy. And my dad said something like, "You can be a trash man?" I don't know. Wait, that was a totally different conversation. I'm sorry. But I used to ask my dad, like, gender questions. And that's very normal. A lot of kids don't understand the difference between, like, males have a penis and females have a vagina. And sometimes that's not even true at birth. There are tons of different, it's a whole spectrum of, you know, some people are born with both parts, some people are actually born with neither. And so I didn't realize the difference between sex and gender. How long did it take before you realized sex and gender? Because I think I was maybe educated at 19, and I just turned 23, so it's been about 4 years that I've actually understood the difference.
Honestly, I don't know, because we never had SLE in my school.
FLE, Family Life Education.
FLE.
Sex ed.
So yeah, we've never, well, the school I went to, we didn't do that because it was a private school. So honestly, I guess kind of recently, if you think about it.
Something that's difficult is the school system I grew up going to in public school is Fairfax County public schools here in Northern Virginia, and they taught abstinence-only sex ed. So what that means is instead of teaching what are safe sex practices, the only thing they would teach is sex is male and female. You will die if you have sex. You are a used shoe. And they put a lot of pressure on women, saying that women were the ones who should say no and all sorts of stuff like that. And I remember thinking that sex was only between a man and a woman. And
that's not true.
That's not true.
With whoever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. Trees, a plant, baseballs, butter.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want.
Okay, let's not go into that. So one of the things, so if you're questioning what's the difference between gender and sex, I'm going to tell you what I learned. I learned that I actually didn't even know the word gender until I came to America in 2006. In Singapore, they only talk about sex, and that might be because I was very young, and Singapore schools were a little bit more conservative. I went to public school. Shout out to Guangyang Primary School. Hell yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize that you can have two people having sex with penises, or two people having sex with vaginas, and two people with vaginas can both be male, two people with penises can both be female, or you can have someone with a penis, someone with a vagina, and they can identify as the other sex. Gender is more like a role. You can identify as a different gender, and I actually chose to identify as neither because neither gender role seemed right, and I'm sure that there's some name for some way I feel, but honestly, I identify as non-binary. Mm-hmm. I've identified as non-binary for about 6 months now, and it feels right.
I recently identify as non-binary. I mean, it was hard. I was very...
But you started identifying before me, and the silly thing is, I didn't want to come out because I found out in 2017 that somebody who was very... Deneen! I went to Pride with somebody and they taught me about pronouns, and I remember thinking, oh, well, if, you know, I know certain people who have they, them pronouns, if I try and say, wait, that seems right for me, I was going to steal their thunder. Steal their gender thunder. How dare I explore myself? Haha, masturbating. Not what I meant, but
Sure.
Go for it. Not now, please. You know what? If you are doing it now, that's fine. Don't be ashamed of yourself.
It's very normal.
Don't tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
And also, it's very normal for kids to start at a young age. It's very normal. And I work with kids, and like they'll just go off, and I'm like, "Can you do that in your room, please?" And they're like, "Oh, is this bad?" I'm like, "It's not bad. You just don't do it here." So, gender, sex, and masturbation.
It's
Welcome
a private
to self-harm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a private thing. Please don't talk about it in the comments. You don't need to email me about it. Masturbation, but you know, go for it. Yeah. So I didn't realize what gender was. Don't check your watch.
No, I got a notification.
What is it important?
Fairfax County, home of the 1 pound burger.
So yeah, so I decided that I was going to start binding my chest, and I was going to see if maybe I could trick people into thinking I was a guy, which in my video Chicks in College, I seem to have done a great job because
Fun fact, I'm wearing a binder right now.
Yeah, I'm not.
I need to adjust it.
And that's okay. You can identify as non-binary and not bind. You can identify as female and not bind. And it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. It's your body, and you have the say in it overall.
Excuse me one moment.
No.
What?
No.
It's bothering me.
You can be bothered. We're going for 5 more minutes. Also, we're in the woods.
Well, no, I'm just going to turn around and stand over there. Adjust it.
There are children. Wait, where did they go? We lost them. Yeah, so I didn't want to... Back to the thing. I didn't want to come out because somebody else was in the process of telling me that they use different pronouns, and that doesn't mean that they were coming out. That doesn't mean that that's where they landed. That's just, I was learning about pronouns. So I remember thinking, if I choose now, it's going to make it seem like I'm trying to hop on some gender train. Choo-choo. So yeah, so it wasn't... So Laura started identifying as non-binary much before I did, but didn't make a full transition.
And I remember I told you, and you were like,
Yeah, I didn't really get it. I remember being like, are you sure? And that's totally the wrong
and I was like, oh, then I don't, because like I didn't, like I was like, I think I am, and then as soon as they were like, are you sure? I was like,
am I sure? And that's the worst thing you should say to somebody. And I just didn't know. And it wasn't...
I mean, I didn't get offended by it or anything. I was like, honestly, like, am I sure though?
Yeah, and I still wonder. I'm still in a process here.
I think you kind of always will be, like, for some people.
Yeah.
Like, you never really know who you truly are.
Yeah,
until you
and
figure that
I
out.
realized from a role model. I realized from a role model who might be 32 now, a doctor of mine who was incredibly helpful when I was in the hospital. Literally, we saved my life together. And
round of applause for that.
Round of applause.
For that human, sorry.
To that human. They were amazing. Hiring them. And I realized that I was more comfortable with non-binary. I was more comfortable with May. It was a really big deal when I came out.
Oh, I was so proud of them. I was like, yay!
One of the things I was so worried about, though, was because this person identified differently. And I was saying, you know, like, I think this is right, you know, but I don't want to come out.
Excuse me, sorry.
They're allergic to me misgendering them, apparently.
Yeah.
As I after you sneezed and I misgendered you, they're
okay.
psychic. They are not actually at all. They cannot predict weather for crap. Do you remember that time when we were watching a movie and it started pouring rain? You're like, ah, tonight's a good night.
Well, yeah, it said like 4% chance.
It said 40. That's why I wasn't sure if I should come over. So I was afraid to come out because Laura was coming out, and I remember thinking like, oh well, this might not be right. And
no,
then
if you want to come out, just because someone else is coming out doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah,
you're not gonna steal their thunder. You just celebrate together.
Yes. And so just some closing notes here. My worst fear happened, and that was that when this resident doctor who fixed my meds, fixed so many things, helped me like get into I mean, like, this person changed my life. They told the overseeing doctor, they're like, yeah, you know, like, I'm gonna have a bit of a talk with their treatment team and say that, you know, we're trying different gender pronouns and everything, and the doctor's like, is this because of you? And they're like, no, this has been a thing. Because, again, I had talked to them about my history with, like, binding and everything, and I cannot thank this person enough. And I was really afraid to change my name, and they were like, just go for it. And I remember the day I got mad that it said, when Emily is having a seizure, please protect her head. She will need, to not be suffocated with a pillow, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. And I remember getting mad and crossing it out and right, when May is they, and like doing it. And they walked in and they went, are we using May now? And it was the most amazing feeling. Laura changed names at one point, just trying things out.
Yeah, I'm still figuring it out.
It turned out to be the brand of a lawn and leaf company in England.
Really?
Lennox? Yeah,
funny.
No, it was like an air conditioning company.
That's funny.
It was something silly that
I
kind of like.
I do really like Lennox, and I use that on my TikTok. So if you're confused, that's why. Oh. So I'm trying it first on TikTok, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. I like it.
And honestly, you can change names. It's okay. I actually just changed my gender on my driver's license, which is something I wanted to do when I was 17 years old, before I even knew what gender was. I just remember thinking, like, can I be male?
I'll do that once I get my driver's license.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do they, them.
The only thing I'm worried about is now that I'm trying to get a passport again, are they gonna look at my driver's license and be like, what the hell is X? Because those very forward-thinking TSA agents.
Just explain it and they'll figure it out.
Aliens not landing, it's children running down a hill. So self-harm and gender and eating disorders and all this stuff really tied together, negative coping skills for something I didn't understand, and I want to be, and you want to be, a role model for you kids, even my kids here who are older than me, that it's okay to come out. And the thing is, I can't come out to my mom, and if I do, it's not going to be until I'm an adult and I've launched. So it's okay if you can't come out to your family. It's okay. The thing is, whoever you feel comfortable with, and if you really want to come out to your family and you don't think they'll be understanding, but you want to come out,
do it.
Come out. Change your name as many times as you want.
There's never a wrong name.
I have a child on this channel who it goes by it.
Shout out to it.
Yeah, shout out to it. I love you, my dear. So, and if I ever call you something like dear or sweetie or honey or bro or dude or my homie, and you don't like it, tell me immediately. I might make the mistake again. I might be like, what's good, dude? And you'll be like, I don't like that.
But again, there's so many of you. It's so hard to keep track on.
No, I have a list. I have a list of my kids.
I don't.
That's okay. You're getting used to them though.
I am.
When you guys are on the lives, it's really helpful if you give us your pronouns, because I'll try and remember.
I do that when I go live on TikTok. I'm like, yo, what are your pronouns?
Yeah.
And I try my best to remember.
Yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Sorry it was a bit of a shit show. We talked about a lot of things here.
I nearly died.
Yeah.
That child just fell.
Laura's a little sick in the head. Sorry.
No,
and also, I didn't mean that as if there's anything wrong with mental illness. I meant they're a little twisted with their humor.
A little bit, but that's okay too. Well,
so
adios, cheers.
Adios. You have to cheers me.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go like this together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, in the camera. No, like we're gonna go as hard as possible. Is there stuff in yours?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's stuff in mine.
1, 2, 3. Wait, stop! We gotta end here.
Well, then how are we gonna
here like this? Because I'm going this way.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
You gotta go far back. Like
1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching, everybody, and bye. Okay, turn off the camera.
That was actually really fun.
That was a really good podcast.
Lead.